I am Jordan Binney. I'm an artist, and we are in my apartment that is turned into my studio.
Do you go to school?
I do. I go to SCAD. I'm a painting major there, studying abstract with acrylics and realism with oils.
How did you get into painting?
I was going through a really hard time in high school, and I realized that the only thing that got me excited in the morning was to get up and look forward to painting. So I realized that painting was the only thing that made me happy, and I was like, all right, that's what I'm gonna do.
Besides painting, was there anything else that sparked your interest?
I think if I wasn't a painter, I would probably be like a veterinarian or something. Something with animals.
How many years have you been working on your craft?
I have been seriously painting since I was a sophomore in high school, so that is almost 5 years I've been seriously painting. Yeah.
Speaking on, working since sophomore year, how has your workflow changed over time?
It's changed a lot. Technique has changed, subject matter has changed. Everything, yeah, your art changes over time as you learn what kind of painting you like and the style that you want to do it in. Everyone's different, so it definitely changes over time.
Who has inspired you to stay in painting? Because I'm pretty sure it's been times where it's just been like, another painting.
I honestly would say myself. I don't really have like a mentor or anything in my life who's kept me really rooted in painting. I just genuinely love what I do and am very motivated by my own self to keep going. Yeah.
What drives you to be creative?
I think it's just the fact that I learned that I was not an academic person and I'm just solely a creative person. So it's really my only outlet and the only thing that really the only thing that keeps me going. Yeah.
Where does your inspiration comes from? Do you read magazines? Do you, look online and be like, hey, I want to mimic that? How does it come to you?
Well, I recently learned that I am an art history nerd, and I love art history, so I look a lot at the masters and what's already been done and take a lot of inspiration. And so sometimes I'll just kind of like throw up on a canvas my thoughts, and then I'll step away and be like, oh, that's how I feel. I didn't know that until I visualized it.
Speaking about getting your creativity from the past, can you name a few people who you've seen and like, oh, I like that. I want to use their style.
Abramovich is my favorite artist. She's a performance artist. I take a lot from her. And Picasso, yeah.
Because this is a competitive field, how do you stay ahead or how do you stay in the game?
I stay in the game because I don't think people have the same ideas that I do. Yeah, I think my brain is just constantly moving creatively and constantly thinking of new ideas that I don't think other people have. So, yeah, that's what keeps me going.
Have you ever tried telling stories through it? Well, through your artwork?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely want my artwork to have a meaning, and a lot of my artwork has stories behind it, but not every time you want to explain it. Sometimes it's more personal, and other times you want the story to be very noticeable. So
how do you convey that to a person like me who pretty much is walking down the street? You see the art, but you don't understand the meaning of it. So how do you push it forward? Present it in front of people and give them meaning rather than actually looking for it, looking at it for what it is.
I think it's all about how you present the work. I think the composition, the colors, the body positioning, like everything goes into account, and you really don't know that if you're not a painter, I don't think. But you really have to think about every single aspect of the painting and how they relate to each other, and that's how you get the message across.
What were your goals in the beginning?
My goals in the beginning, I think I just wanted to show that I was talented and show that I had this thing that I was really good at. But now it's changed into just getting it out there, and like I just want to constantly put out work, and I think my goal is really to just change people's perception of art.
Do you believe that your work brings more people to become a painter?
Maybe. I think my work is, I consider my work really different from other people's. I like to make people uncomfortable and like question themselves, and when you look at my work, I really want someone to go inwards, and just like a lot of self-reflection.
While working, what is your best way to work? Do you like working in silence? Do you like working with a little bit of music?
It definitely changes, but my favorite is to work with music. I listen to really funky music when I paint. When I paint, I really get lost in my work. And when there's funky music going too, you can get lost in the music, and then those two kind of come together, and it's fun. It's a fun environment, yeah.
Okay. What are some things that you don't like about your field?
Things that I don't like about painting. I don't like acrylic paint. That's one thing. Dries too fast. But I think one thing I don't like about painting is you just feel really creatively drained a lot, especially at SCAD. At the end of the quarter, you just feel like a towel that's just like been wrung out of like all its creative juices. But it's also super liberating to step back and see all of your stuff that you've done. So it's just a lot of time.
Well, I know that you said you like to make people feel uncomfortable, but in your work, how do you drive that narrative?
I use a lot of nudity, which personally I just think a body is a body and everyone has one. So I use that a lot because that's how we all connect, and I think that's how you really drive some feelings out of the viewer.
What's some representation you would like to see from other creators?
From other creators, I really do love where the contemporary art scene is going right now, and seeing that at SCAD and seeing how everyone else's artwork plays into that is really cool. I think if I want to see more so in other people's work, I'm tired of pretty artwork. I really enjoy artworks that make you think and make you wonder and make you dig, and yeah, I just love like pulling pieces out of an artwork. So as long as it's still like visually and captivating and like has meaning, and yeah, I think that's I don't want to see boring art. If I stopped painting, I would be pretty sad if the art world was just boring. I think I'm tired of it just because it's been done so many times before. Like I personally feel like the Renaissance art period was, let's make beautiful work, and that's what they did. And then when the 20th century hit and we explored all these different art ideas, I just felt like the period for beautiful artwork, you can still make it, but it's not as visually, and captivating, and it's not gonna, I just feel like it's not as meaningful, and I want meaningful artwork in the world.
Do you believe that the art world is changing, or for painting?
Yeah, I think so, definitely. I think people are exploring a lot of ideas now that technology's a thing. A lot of tech softwares that like are converting painting into digital, and yeah, the whole world is constantly changing for sure.
How much does a 9-to-5 job play in your life?
Well, I consider myself to have 3 jobs. I sell my artwork, I model on the side, and I do hair and makeup for that company. And then during the summer, I teach kindergarten through 5th grade arts and crafts. So it's a lot, but you really just have to find time to work at your paintings around everything else. And it's also become my paintings are more important. So in my opinion, so I've started just sorting out my priorities.
How do you cultivate your audience?
That's an interesting question. I think it's kind of impossible to know if you're gonna cultivate an audience or not. And art's very subjective, so it's very different to everyone. But I try to cultivate an audience by being visually interesting. I think is the number one thing you can do to get an audience's attention.
Has there ever been a time where you had to turn down an opportunity?
Yes, there has been. I recently had a situation over the summer where I got an order to do a commission and it turned out to be a scam artist, and like I had to cancel it, and it was crazy.
How often do you get scam artist requests?
It's pretty. I mean, it's pretty often. I think. I think people think that I'm young and can take advantage of my career at where it is right now. But I think I'm pretty professionally capable, I think.
The word artist, because it has different meanings to it, and different skills and people are associated with it. What does it mean to you?
Being an artist, I think, is putting out. I think it's really just putting out creative work that's important to you. It doesn't matter if it's important to anyone else. I think you can be an artist and create whatever kind of art you want as long as you're passionate about it. And yeah.
What's your biggest barrier as an artist?
I think my biggest barrier as an artist is really have to overcome the obstacle of like thinking that you're good enough. And because you compare your art with other people's artwork all the time, and it's really hard to see someone else's work right in front of you and be like, oh, that's better. But you really have to learn. My artwork is my artwork, and that's good enough, and I can still keep working at it. My name is Jordan Binney. This is my video from Steps of a Village. I would like to thank you for watching and wish you the best.